Hi there, wonderful awakening beings and spiritual souls. Jo Rose at jorose.com, numerologist and energy forecaster. And in this video, I'm sharing with you the numerology forecast for September 2025. But before I do, let's recap what 2025 has in store for us. No, wait, let's not do that. Why? Because September brings us a double whammy of that same vibration. So 2025 is a 9. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. The number of transformation, release, letting go, forgiveness, kindness, warmth and charity. September is the 9th month, so we add the 9 to the 9 and we get 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. So this year is the final year in a yearly epicycle. September is also the final month of the monthly epicycle. So the double whammy energy, as if the year hasn't felt like a roller coaster, this month may well do. Ups and downs. Think about it. Apprehensions as it goes up, the fear and the shriek and the excitement as it comes down. It's like a heart monitor machine showing us life. Bloop, 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 bloop. If it was just like, we'd be dead. And no point in that. What's the point of having life? So it's time for a life review. What have you been putting off? What needs to get done? It's a time of ending, releasing, completion, concluding. Listen to what the whispers are telling you. Get into the moment to make the decision. Seldom do we actually live in the moment. We are too busy replaying the past or having anxiety for the future. The future's going to come no matter what, but what you do today reflects on what happens tomorrow. And what you do on the inner work today can change the patterns of the past and the future. Now, if you are feeling low or depressed, because 9 can bring all sorts of emotions in because it's asking us to look at the past. What memories are pushing themselves up to the surface? They are doing this because they need to be worked on. Now let's talk about the biggest one, the loss of loved ones. This one can often be tough, take a long time and become time consuming and time disabling. Grief is an emotion and most of us deal with it at some point. So I took a little look at grief. Here you can see the breakdown numerically of the word grief. Look, it starts with a number 7. We're going to go within. We're going to want to have time away from others on our own, deal with our feelings, our emotions, connect with source in whatever format that is. You can see there are 2 9s. Transformation has to take place, and the overall amount of the word is 9. It's not just 9, it's Tesla's 369. If man could understand energy, frequency and vibration, he would understand the working of the universe. Grief is a big wake-up call. And look, we've got the 6 in there. The 6 is about self-parenting and working with your inner child. Grief is there as a wake-up call. Yes, the physical person has left us. At the same time, we're still here. And spiritual work now has to be done. Let's look at some things that we can do. Acknowledge your feelings. Speak with them. What insight do they have? Do you know your loved ones are still here spiritually? Talk to them. I talk to mine. Sometimes they just pop in my head and I say hello. Other times I'm doing something that maybe something that I might have done with that particular person. It could have been someone I might have gone with a challenge. What would they tell me to do if they couldn't physically do it for me? So it's a good time to connect with your feelings and the spirit world of your partner or loved one that you have lost. Create a ritual of release. So write about your feelings. Let it all out. Whether you feel betrayed, whether you feel alone, whether you feel lost, whether you feel relief, whether you feel happiness that they're no longer in pain, all of these things. And when you can write no more, take a match and set it on fire. Release it up. Let it go off with spirit. And next, create a plan. What can you do moving forward? Well, you can't rely on a non-physical person to do physical stuff for you. So how are you going to move forward? Create a plan. What are you going to do with the void? Create a plan. What did you not achieve when you were with that person that you can now achieve? Create a plan. What did you suppress? Now it can be born. Seek support, whether that's professional, with grief counselling, with family or friends. Talk about how you're feeling, how you're getting through it. Maybe find some people that have grieved as well. What do they do to get through it? I recently joined an art program, and one of the mentors on the program shared 3 years ago when they joined this particular course that I'm on, they had just lost their husband of 40 years, literally 5 days prior to the course starting. I'm not sure whether she was an artist before, but I don't believe she had painted for a long time. And during this process, she didn't know how to move forward. So she buried herself in the process of the course. And when she was angry, she allowed it to come out in the artwork. When she was sad, she allowed it to come out in the artwork. And doing this allowed her to release the emotions. And sometimes she'd look at the piece and go, wow, look what I created. She's now a mentor on the course. So whether she was an artist or not, or it is something that she had let go of, it came back. Art, hobbies, creativity are a great way to work through grief. Find meaning and growth. Your soul is seeking expansion here. Nothing lasts forever. The only thing that you will ever have forever is you, your soul, your spirit, and the connection to source. 9 is about transformation, releasing, letting go. It's about gratitude. How has this experience enlightened you, shown you things that perhaps you didn't know before this? Because we can't know everything. And it's a part of your soul's journey, so it wanted to know, it wanted to experience this. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Hug yourself. Do nice things for yourself, but don't wallow in self-pity. Create time and space to grieve. The initial period, if you're not going to go on an art workshop, is taken care of, doing all the mechanical things. And then time comes when you've got a void. Voids are not a good thing, so we need to fill them with something. So create new activities. Maybe it could be a health practice. Maybe you're going to start cooking or baking. Perhaps you're going to catch up with friends. And over time, if the grief is still there, allocate a day in the month or the week or a time period in the day where you can just sit and be with your memories of that particular person. You could do afternoon tea and have a chat, whether that's out loud or in your head or whether you write. Just because physically they're gone, spiritually they're still here. So it isn't that you are alone. You just have to do things differently moving forward. Honour the memories. What gifts did they bring? What moments of joy or growth did they give you? Without them in your life, you wouldn't be who you were now. But they've given you freedom to move on to something new and embrace new beginnings. 9 is the endings. 1 will follow. It's new beginnings. There is always new beginnings happening. What can you do with your new beginning? Loss is not always a loved one. It could be a dream. It could be a promotion. It could be a job. It could be a house you're going for. It could be things. It could be something that you feel you were entitled to that you never had. Loss hurts. Being trapped in the loss does not serve you. You didn't have it and you don't have it for a reason. So instead of looking at what you do not have, what do you have? Be grateful for what you have. And even if that's just, now I have this time, what can you do with this time? Enroll in local one-off workshops. Enroll online. Do something different. Maybe it's time to get back into the work environment. Maybe it's time to change your job. Maybe it's time to downsize your home. Maybe it's time to relocate. Maybe it's time to live that dream that you suppressed. And if the past memories, the past traumas that have surfaced hurt you hard when they happened, if you don't take the dart out and the triggers keep coming, you are re-poisoning the same area. When you realize the gift you have been given, it's easier to move on. So pull out that dart. Now, September intensifies the energy, and this is quite an emotional period of time. And emotions are energy in motion. And you know I love the film Inside Out because it talks about our emotions, and Inside Out 2 came along, which talks about more emotions. Your emotions are your sat-nav. Look at this emotional spiral because nothing is linear. Look at it. Where are you now? Are you below that line of boredom? What do you need to do to get above that line? I didn't think I liked art. I loved fabric, and that's where I did my thing. I love interior design, all of those things, but no, not an artist. I could copy, I could colour, but I'm not an artist. And yet I've got into this mandala painting, really got into this mandala painting. And I want to expand on it, which is why I enrolled on this art course. Not because it's about mandala painting, no, it's about finding my voice within art materials. And unless I'd gone to a one-day mandala art workshop, I wouldn't know this. So find things that you can do for your life moving forward. We could say 9 is the number of the nomad. 9 is the international number. It's a number of the traveller and the travelled. Along the way, we meet people and cultures, and yet the soul is whole and complete. So what is it about relationships? They are mirrors, they are reflectors, and we meet people on a psychological level of where we are currently at. So if we meet people that are feeling a bit too off, let's look at what's off in our life. And if we meet people that are elevating, we must be putting that out there. People reflect your inner world. They are mirrors. 9 suggests we go deep. And as you go deep, you can step into new versions of the self. Your mindset creates the structure. Is it empowering or disempowering? And growth, it can cause breakups or breakdowns of falling away. During the lockdown, many people fell away from my life. Was I broken? No. I rebuilt myself. I rebuilt my friendship. I rebuilt the people that I surround myself by. And I feel way more elevated now than I did pre that period of time. People come into your life for a reason, a season, but are seldom permanent. The only permanent person in your life is you and Source. That's the relationship that needs to take priority. When you stop belonging, you start becoming. And while I've mentioned I've been on a journey this year, really big time on healing, what I'm discovering, it's not about healing, it's about remembering. Remembering who I am, how nature works, how to serve myself better, how to be free. You contain the divine within you, both masculine and feminine. We need both these characteristics. They both have value and meaning. They don't necessarily play out all at the same time, And what we've seen in the external world is the breakdown of this, the breakdown of the family, the loss of women, whether that be Mary Magdalene from the Bible that was there and first saw Jesus at the resurrection, and yet man made her out to be a whore, or what they've done for women and women's sport and the transgender world. Everything is energy. And we can see here the feminine energy and the masculine energy. Feminine energy brings in the intuition. Somehow they just seem to know or can work people out quicker than the masculine energy. They're nurturing, healing, more calm. They've got emotional awareness. Expression and communication of emotions are strong. The masculine energy is very logical. It's about reason. It's energy of action. It's firm, ease of acquiring material needs. It's about survival and common sense. They balance each other out. The way that works is a bit like the spiral. If you're in the lower vibration, then if you find an energy opposite in the higher vibration, and whether we're looking at numerology and the numbers, there is always the lower and the higher vibration. Find a way to balance yourself out. If you find yourself in a low vibration, what do you need to do to get in a higher vibration? 9 is really about transforming, and that is transforming not just yourself, but energies. It's time for you to realize that you are a sovereign being. You are consciousness, all that is and ever will be. And when is now time to return to the soul, to start listening to the soul as you've listened to the ego. The ego comes from fear and the soul comes from love. As I said, when we add September to the year, we get an 18. Numerology is a tool. So is the tarot, so is astrology, so are books, the internet, music, songs, whatever. Everything can be used as a tool. So the moon number is the 18th card, and it's blind to the truth. It has unrealistic dreams. It can be deceptive, illusion. Things may not be all they seem. It brings up fears, insecurities that are perhaps holding you back. It asks what's in the shadow and to trust your gut. It's interesting that the moon is about illusion. And if you are where I'm at, when man did never land on the moon, and the chances are the moon is some form of spaceship, it's all an illusion. I'm not saying there was never a moon, but the moon that we see might be illusion. Just like the governments feed us an illusion, just like the neon images and the celebrities feed us an illusion, when reality, what's really going on. 18 reduces to 9, and in tarot that's the Hermit. So this month it is suggesting seek inner wisdom. Too much knowledge can feel like a burden. I really know this big time. Before doing this video, going through my head over and over, what do I want to say? What do I want to give? I could say this, I could say that. That's just too much. And really, maybe if I created smaller videos more often, I could get things out what I wanted to do. I've got to get out of my own way with creating the videos, because as much as I'm a Leo and it's all about being on stage, I'm not really one that wants to be on stage, not alone, not talking to my camera here with no energy feeding me back. This is where I get challenged. Knowledge can be a burden, so you need to sift through it and decide what knowledge works for you. Easy way, does it resonate? Use kinesiology, whatever you can do to find out the answers. But at the same time, the 9 needs the truth, no matter the cost. And that's what we're not given. Truth can be hurtful because we've lived swamped in lies. But if we always come from the truth, it would just be the truth and easy to make our decisions. The 9 brings a desire to be alone. It's about withdrawal. It's also keeping much of the self hidden, being secretive. The 9 wants to escape the rat race and mute the narrative. It's about contemplation. Do not rush this month. Contemplate. Make a decision next month in the 1, not this month. Unless you are concluding something that you've already been working towards. Also, the 9, forgotten past resurfaces. So with the double whammy of the 9 energy, let's look with each personal year, what could be going on for you? What can you let go of? And what could you focus on? Let go of past failures or regrets that hinder your ability to start fresh. Focus on embracing new opportunities with confidence, leaving behind any self-doubt. Remember, 1 is about new beginnings. 2 is about cooperation and balance. Let go of resentments or unresolved conflicts in relationships. This may mean letting go of relationships. Focus on fostering harmony and understanding by addressing and healing relational wounds. Personal year 3 is about creativity and expression. Let go of self-criticism and fear of judgment that stifle your creative expression. Whose voice is in your head when this happens? Where in your life did somebody tell you it wasn't good enough, or it can't be done that way, or you can do better? Let it all go. Focus on embracing your unique voice and share your talents without fear. If you shared your talents and everyone went, wow, that is great, you'd feel really good. But who are you when no one's watching? Share it. If your inner child, if your higher self, if your parental guidance says, just share it, then share it. And share it even if you have fear, because feedback will give you something to work on. 4 is about stability and foundation. Let go of rigid routines or beliefs that limit your growth. Focus on being open to new methods and ideas that can enhance your stability. Personal year 5, change and freedom. Let go of resistance to change or fear of the unknown. Focus on embracing flexibility and adaptability, allowing yourself to explore new paths. 6, responsibility and relationships. Let go of overburdening yourself with responsibilities that aren't yours to bear. During 2022, I spent a long time on talking about relationships and responsibility. And all the time that you helicopter in or fix it for another, you stop the other person's growth and you stop that time being spent on you and your responsibilities. Focus on prioritizing self-care and delegate tasks to maintain balance. Personal year 7, introspection and spirituality. Let go of distractions that prevent deep reflection and spiritual growth. Focus on dedicating time to introspection and connecting with your inner wisdom. Personal year 8, power and abundance. Let go of limiting beliefs around success and abundance. Focus on harnessing your personal power to pursue ambitious goals with confidence. Personal year 9, completion and transformation. Let go of old patterns, relationships, or habits that no longer serve your growth. Focus on embracing transformation by clearing space for new opportunities and beginnings. As I said, numerology is a tool, and the controllers use the tools. They definitely use numerology, and they know how to manipulate the energy. Back in 2020, I said to you that we're in a decade along with a millennium of the 2, and whatever damage will be done under a care energy. And so it was care about your neighbours, care about granny, care about everybody else. It was done through the medical care system. It wasn't done with guns. Now, some people may say guns have appeared with the wars, but no. Do we really know this? Are we in those countries? Or is it just something else that mainstream media is pushing out there? They use the energy in their favor because they know the esoteric value of it. And so in a 9 energy, what we can see as we come to an end of an epicycle, that old systems must change, must fall. And if this was a loving, kind, caring, run for the people, by the people, the new systems would make sense to us. But currently the systems, especially here in the UK, are more like enslavement and taking more of our freedom and our finances and our life and well-being away from us. So expect endings of systems and new ones being put into motion. 9 is also about increased awareness and compassion. Is this why so many people are getting rolled up about what has gone on in Ukraine and Russia or Gaza or many other countries? Is that why we see here in the UK, whether that be the St. George's Cross or the Union Jack being raised, people are returning to their roots, partly because they are patriotic, but partly because what is going on feels off. The environmental and social shifts that are being pushed, they've been pushing their agenda for so long, and now people are saying, but this doesn't include everybody. We are beginning to see people coming together, in unifying, connecting, and finding a voice for what they believe that we need moving forward. And on a whole, personal growth and enlightenment, people are beginning to find their voice, have their say, see the system doesn't serve us. So right now, things are falling away. They are falling down, but do not fall into the self-destruct mode. Sometimes things have to be pulled down to be rebuilt. 9 is about transformation, and we must expect change in transformation. 1 is new beginning change, and 9 is ending change. And that's where we are at right now. Numerology does work. Numerology does tell us about the energy. Last month, I mentioned something on the lines of the financial system. Something big will change. Well, have you looked at precious metals recently? Silver has never ever been as high as where it is right now. There is changing happening. And is the silver now going to be valued at what it is really meant to be valued and no longer suppressed? And are we going to be now moving to gold-backed currencies? Is it time for the paper money to disappear, which isn't money, it's an IOU piece of paper? Last month, I set myself a task to fast. Now, we talk about the tools, astrology being one of them. I had read, while the moon was in my sun sign, it's a good time to release overindulgence, lust, greed, etc. And I went on a fast for that period of time. I actually found I could do it longer. Initially, the first day was a bit of a challenge. I only did it for about 2.5 days. Since coming back into the re-eating, the re-fooding, I am eating better. I thought I'd only do it once, but I may choose to do it every time my sun sign or the moon moves into my sun sign. And so I'm leaving a chart here so you can see where yours falls over the next couple of months and decide that if you want to do it, go ahead. Fasting is also a release and letting go, a decluttering of all the toxins that go in our body. And if you really fast and realize the benefits of taking this out of your body, obviously 2 days is not that long, but we can fast 16 hours a day or at least 12 hours a day and only eat in a window, or we can go on and do the longer fasts. Many people heal themselves from dis-ease and chronic illness through fasting, when we get the toxins out of our body. Why has the food got toxins in it in the first place? 9 is showing us that things must end. Could it be the way that our food is grown? Could it be the way that our finances are done? Could it be the way that we are governed? With power last month starting to crumble in many areas or unite, more individual souls are moving into their personal power. What do you need to let go of to be in your power and in preparation for next year's new beginning? This month says, let it go. To sum up the energy of this moment in time, there is no better song than the one from Frozen, Let It Go. And I'm going to use some of the words and add my piece. Let it go. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. We are at the precipice, end of the line, whilst at the same time, the beginning of a whole new level and era. A kingdom of isolation. In the tarot, the fool's journey is carefree, and the joker from the deck of cards is the wild card. They are 2 significant cards in the pack, and they are about you. And it looks like I'm queen. King or queen, you are sovereign. Let it go. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in. Heaven knows I tried. Now is the time. You know my tag for the year, Trance-END to Transcend. Don't let them in. Don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. The controllers are done. Ask fear to move aside. No longer a life of enslavement. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Not good advice. Suppression leads to depression. Time to switch to self-expression. I am. The divine is within. Let it go. It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small. Sometimes we just need to walk away. Time is a big healer, as is gratitude and forgiveness. This is all the 9 vibration. Hone into it. Use the energy that is freely out there. And the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Nothing is a failure. It's the soul's lesson of expansion in human form. Let it go. It's time to see what I can do. Insight, intuition, intention, and I'm possible. Not it's impossible. Impossible. No, I'm possible. To test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Once you live in alignment with your soul, you will see that you can be free to live your designer destiny. Your numerology is your guidebook. Let it go. The power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. Everything is energy, and energy is transmutable. Nikola Tesla suggests the key to the universe appears when man understands energy, frequency, and vibration. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. You are sovereign. You are of the Creator. Let it go. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let go, release, conclude, completion, done. Let it go. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. It's time to ascend. Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky. We are one with the universe. Let it go, and I'll rise like the break of dawn. The age of Aquarius is revealing itself. The system is an illusion. We live in a matrix. We have the power for change. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are correct either way. 9 is about honesty. Tell the whole truth. It's about integrity. Lead by example. Walk your talk. It's about intelligence, due diligence, discernment, knowledge, resonance. Once you know you, once you own you, ground yourself. Set the intention for what your soul requires, and you will be able to move with flow over force. The spiritual journey is not an easy one, especially when we've lived under a nanny state, especially when we've put in kindergarten and nursery and school and education and work where everyone has been telling us what to do. When we're sick and we go to someone in a white coat that tells us what to do, we have stopped connecting with source to know what to do. Often people sell you the pleasure trap. They tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to know. Big change requires big action, consistent action. Now, September is double whammy energy. Let it go. October brings in a taster for the new year. What seeds do you want to sow in October? And what space do you need to create in September to sow those seeds? November and December is the test run of the energy before we repeat the energy in next year's one vibration in January and February. It's your life. Spell LYFE. Love yourself first every day. If I've made any sense, please push that like button. Please share my video. If you've not yet subscribed, please do, and push that bell for notification. And while the 9 is telling you to look back or allow the past to come forward, when you clear this stuff up in a 9 epicycle year, only ever look back to see how far you've come. You've come a long way, and it's time for you to see the gifts in everything that has gone before and to see the big, bright, bold future that lies ahead. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your fasting if you do it. Enjoy your releasing. Enjoy how lighter you're going to feel as you let go. Take care and have a great month. See you in my next video.